An inventor, writer, and the diplomat, Franklin helps shape America's future. From discovering electricity to negotiating independence, he proves that creativity and curiosity can change the world. Born in the bustling colonial city of Boston in 1706, Benjamin Franklin emerged from humble beginnings to become one of the most influential figures of his time. The 15th of 17 children, his formal education was brief, ending when he was just 10 years old. However, his thirst for knowledge was insatiable. He apprenticed in his brother's print shop, a world of letters and the ideas that would become his true university. Surrounded by books and the pamphlets, the young Franklin devoured every word he could, from philosophical treatises to scientific papers, laying the groundwork for a life defined by relentless self-improvement and the intellectual pursuit. He honed his writing skills in secret, submitting anonymous essays under the pseudonym Silence the God, which were published to great acclaim. This early success gave him the confidence to strike out on his own, a decision that would set him on a path from a runaway apprentice to a revered global statesman. His journey was a testament to the power of a curious mind, demonstrating from a young age that one's circumstances do not have to dictate one's destiny. The print shop was more than just a trade. It was the forge where his sharp intellect and the persuasive voice were crafted, tools he would later use to rally a nation and charm the courts of Europe. Franklin's move to Philadelphia marked the beginning of his rise as a prominent public figure and a pioneering civic leader. He saw the city not just as a place to live, but as a community to be actively improved. He established the Junto, a club for mutual improvement where artisans and the tradesmen could debate questions of morals, politics, and the natural philosophy. The spirit of collective progress led to a cascade of civic innovations. Recognizing the need for public safety, he founded the Union Fire Company, Philadelphia's first volunteer fire department, a model that would be replicated across the colonies. He addressed public health and sanitation by organizing street sweeping initiatives and campaigning for better city lighting. His vision extended to the intellectual life of the city, leading to the creation of the Library Company of Philadelphia, America's first subscription library, which made knowledge accessible beyond the wealthy elite. He also played a pivotal role in establishing the academy that would eventually become the University of Pennsylvania, believing that education was essential for a virtuous and prosperous society. Through these efforts, Franklin was not just building institutions. He was weaving the very fabric of a functional enlightened civil society, proving that one person's initiative could uplift an entire community and lay the groundwork for a more organized, educated, and safer world for all. While his civic achievements were transforming Philadelphia, Franklin's restless curiosity turned toward the mysteries of the natural world, leading him to become one of the foremost scientists of his era. His fascination with electricity was particularly profound. At a time when electrical phenomena were little more than parlor tricks, Franklin approached the subject with systematic rigor. He conducted a series of groundbreaking experiments, proposing the revolutionary idea of a single electrical fluid with positive and negative charges, a concept that laid the foundation for modern electrical theory. His most famous experiment, the legendary kite and key demonstration during a thunderstorm in 1752, was a daring and ingenious endeavor to prove the electrical nature of lightning. This discovery was not merely an academic curiosity. It had immediate practical applications. He invented the lightning rod, a simple yet life-saving device that protected buildings and ships from the destructive power of lightning strikes, a common and terrifying danger in the 18th century. His scientific inquiries were broad, also leading to inventions like the Franklin stove, a more efficient and safer heating device, and the bifocal glasses, which allowed him to seamlessly switch between reading and distance vision. His work earned him international acclaim, with membership in prestigious scientific bodies like London's Royal Society. Franklin's scientific pursuits were driven by a desire to understand the world and to use that understanding for the betterment of humanity, embodying the spirit of the Enlightenment. As tensions between Great Britain and its American colonies escalated, Franklin transitioned from a scientist and civic leader into a masterful diplomat and a leading voice for American rights. Initially a loyal British subject who hoped for reconciliation, he spent years in London as an agent for several colonies, tirelessly advocating for their interests before Parliament. He argued against unfair taxation, most notably the Stamp Act, using his wit and logic to expose the folly of British policy. However, as British intransigence grew, his position hardened. He came to believe that independence was not only necessary but inevitable. Returning to Philadelphia on the eve of the Revolution, he was immediately elected to the Second Continental Congress. Despite his advanced age, he became an indispensable member, serving on the Committee of Five tasked with drafting the Declaration of Independence. His editorial hand was subtle yet crucial, famously changing Thomas Jefferson's original phrase "sacred and the undeniable truths" to the more powerful and the resonant self-evident truths. His signature on the document was a profound act of rebellion, transforming him from a loyal subject into a founding father of a new nation. His wisdom, experience, and the international reputation lent immense credibility to the revolutionary cause, and his steady presence helped unite the disparate colonies in their shared struggle for freedom against the most powerful empire owners. With the Revolutionary War underway, America's fight for survival depended on foreign aid, and the fledgling nation turned once again to its most celebrated citizen. In 1776, Franklin embarked on his most critical mission, to secure a military alliance with France. Arriving in Paris, he was already a superstar, celebrated as the brilliant scientist who had tamed lightning and the wise philosopher who embodied American virtue. He masterfully leveraged this celebrity, cultivating an image as a rustic, homespun sage from the New World that utterly charmed the sophisticated French court and the public. He navigated the complex world of European diplomacy with extraordinary skill, patiently building relationships, gathering intelligence, and persistently pressing the American case. His efforts culminated in the 1778 Treaty of Alliance, a diplomatic masterstroke that brought the French Navy, troops, and the crucial financial support into the war. This alliance was the decisive turning point, transforming a colonial rebellion into a global conflict that Great Britain could not win. After the American victory at Yorktown, Franklin remained in Paris to negotiate a peace. Alongside John Adams and John Jay, he secured highly favorable terms in the 1783 Treaty of Paris, which officially recognized the United States as an independent nation and established its generous territorial boundaries. His diplomatic triumph was absolute. He had not only won the war but had also secured a lasting and prosperous peace for his country. Returning home a hero, Franklin dedicated his final years to the consolidation of the new republic. Even in his 80s and suffering from poor health, his service was not yet complete. In 1787, he was the oldest delegate to the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, a gathering fraught with division and the competing interests that threatened to tear the young country apart. While his physical contributions to the debates were limited, his role as a conciliator and the elder statesman was invaluable. He was the voice of wisdom and the compromise, urging delegates to set aside their regional prejudices for the sake of national unity. In a pivotal moment when the convention was at a deadlock, his call for compromise helped pave the way for the Great Compromise, which resolved the contentious issue of representation in Congress. At the convention's conclusion, it was Franklin who delivered a powerful closing speech, urging every member to doubt a little of his own infallibility and sign the Constitution. His final public act was to become president of the Pennsylvania Society for Promoting the Abolition of Slavery. Lending his immense prestige to the fight against the institution he had come to see as a moral stain on the nation. Benjamin Franklin's life was a continuous act of creation of institutions, of scientific knowledge, of a nation, and of an American identity. From discovering electricity to negotiating independence, he proves that creativity and curiosity can change the world.